Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will talk about how to study data analytics for 2023. So if you are an aspirant, if you are trying to learn data analytics, you want to know what is the best approach because there are so many resources available online, there are so many technologies to be learned, there is a limited time. So you need to choose the best technologies, you need to decide the best possible study plan so that you can learn things quickly and move to the projects and move to the corporate world. So in this video, I'll talk about meta learning concept. It will help you to learn faster and quicker. So let's get started. So first of all, I'll talk about the video breakdown, what all I will include in this video. First, I'll talk about all the topics which are important for a data analyst learning the framework. Then I will talk about the timeline, how much time do you should spend on each and every topic. Then I will recommend some of the resources if you are a beginner as well as advanced level person. Then I will talk about the projects, the importance of projects and from where you can learn or work on the projects. And finally, the salaries of the data analyst and the future, what salaries you can draw and what is the competency you need to have for that. All right. So first, I'll talk about the topics. What are the topics which are really important for a data analyst? First is technical skills. Then we'll talk about analytical skills, then soft skills, and finally domain skills. So what do we include in technical skills? That is Microsoft Excel, then SQL, Python, Power BI, Tableau, and cloud computing. So these are some of the skills which are really important. So first and foremost, Microsoft Excel. So if you want to be in this field, Excel is very important. It is like a baseline. If you want to have a building, there should be a foundation. So Excel is a foundation for you, right? And then SQL is also important so that you can store the data, understand how to store and then create the tables, databases, then modifying if you want to extract some data, how to do that. So that is also important. Then Python is a statistical language. It is really helpful. You can build your own blocks, you can do whatever you want to. It is very powerful language. I'll talk about Python if it is really necessary for you or not. Can you skip this or not, right? And then I'll talk about Microsoft Power BI or Tableau. These are data visualization tools, so you need to learn one of these tools, Power BI or Tableau. You have to go with your own gut, or you can just Google what are the most challenging jobs, or you can see the number of jobs. Maybe they are more in Power BI, so you can start with Power BI, or if you feel you are comfortable more with Tableau, you can start with Tableau, right? And then cloud computing. So cloud computing is not mandatory, but as you can see, everyone is transforming to online, everyone wants to shift their data to cloud, so you should be aware of the concepts. Maybe you can work on Microsoft Azure or AWS or Google. So it is really important, right? And then we'll talk about analytical skills. For that, it will be math skills, it will be probability, statistics, algebra. So many things are there. Then I'll talk about problem solving. In this, you need to know what are the important concepts. You don't need to study everything from scratch and then you're stuck with math skills itself, right? Then you have to have a research mindset. And then if we talk about soft skills, then there it is: communication, teamwork, creativity, and work ethic. Out of four soft skills, I feel communication is very important. If you are very good in coding, but if you are unable to communicate with the team members, it is really not easy for you to progress, right? So communication is the key. I'll talk about how you can improve that and what are the challenges that you can face. And finally, domain skills. In this, you need to know various domains, or you can be expert in one domain. For example, FMCG, CPG, it is fast moving consumer goods companies, so you can have this kind of domain skill set, or retail or banking, insurance, real estate, edtech. So there are so many domain skills apart from this as well. You need to figure out your own domain if you have experience in particular domain, so stick with that. If you are a fresher, you need to figure out which domain you want to move into. Then you can read about various domains and then figure out which is the best suitable domain for you. All right, so which level are you at? This is a very important page. You need to understand your skill level. For example, we are talking about four tools. First is Excel, then second is Power BI, third is SQL, and then Python. You need to understand, are you a beginner in Excel? Are you intermediate or advanced, or finally, or maybe you're an expert, right? So you have to take your own like plan yourself. For example, in Excel you are a beginner, in Power BI you are intermediate, SQL maybe a beginner, and Python also beginner. So you need to understand that in Excel itself you are a beginner. So first try to move from beginner to intermediate, and then finally from intermediate to advanced. Once you are done with this, then move to other tools, because this is a foundation, right? And you can learn Power BI side by side, because these are more or less similar tools in some of the concepts, right? If you feel you are maybe a beginner in SQL, right, and you don't know Excel and Power BI, so maybe you can skip SQL right now and be an expert in Power BI and Excel. Or if you feel you can do really good in SQL, then start with SQL and try to reach intermediate level and then advanced level, right? If you are unaware, or maybe you're not expert in these three things, you should not go for Python. Obviously, Python is really important for you if you want to become a data analyst and want to progress in your life, right? But I'm not saying this, but initially to start with, you have to be very good in Excel and then one visualization tool and SQL. But you can become a Python expert even without knowing Power BI. So I'm not saying that you should not work on Python, but if you have these three skill set, then you can at least apply for the jobs and you can get some jobs. All right, then moving ahead with the timelines. So how you should approach all the skill sets. For example, first I'll start with technical skills, where these are the skills. First, Excel. If you are starting, then let's say you can take 7 to 10 days. If you are a intermediate level, you should just brush up your skills. It can take 1 to 2 days, right? Don't take more than 7 or 8 days, because if you're taking more than that, that means you are wasting your time. Instead, just brush up all the concepts and move ahead with the projects, right? Going ahead with the Power BI take maximum 10 to 12 days, not more than that. Because if you are just reading about Power BI or just watching the videos of Power BI day in day out for 15-20 days, you're not gaining anything. You're just getting some of the concepts, but you won't be able to apply in the real life, right? So my advice to you is, take 10 to 12 days, study, watch the videos, and then start applying that. Take the projects and start applying step by step, and then go back to the videos if you're not able to create something, right? So my advice to you is, take minimum time in studying, maximum time in implementing the projects, right? Because real learning will happen while you're working on the projects. In SQL, it might take 1 week, 2 week, maybe 3 weeks, right? If you're starting from scratch and you have no background in coding, so it might take a month also for you, right? But my advice to you is, if you are a basic level or maybe a beginner person, then you can take 1 to 2 weeks and you can learn the basics of SQL, and then you are good to go. You don't need to learn each and every code or syntax and learn everything. You don't have to do that. You can easily Google after that as well. You just need to understand the concepts. You just need to know what are the statements in SQL, and then you can apply that in the projects. Similarly, Python take 2 to 3 weeks or maximum a month, and then you can have the basics of Python. You can just understand the libraries, download the Python, and understand what exactly is happening in the algorithm, right? So just go for theory and then start implementing in the projects. For projects, you can work on Maven Analytics, right? There is a website, or you can download the data sets from Kaggle or GitHub and start learning. The best way is to have some projects which already someone has already done, right? And then replicate that project for you and then see what are the challenges. So that is one of the best way to really learn any particular tool. So what is meta learning, which I was talking to you? So meta learning is when you are able to work on your breadth first technology. What is my breadth first technology? It is learn just enough about the topic to get started on a project. For example, I am talking about Microsoft Power BI tool. All right, you just started learning on Power BI tool. So what if you learn about Power BI tool for 1 month, 2 month, and you're not doing project? So after 2 months of learning, once you start learning working on the project, you still will have some issues while implementing, because learning versus implementing, these two concepts are totally different. So what my advice to you is, have a basic concept of Power BI, basics of everything. What is DAX, then how to do data modeling, what is how to build the relationships, how to work on Power Query editors, all those things. Once you are done with all the basic concepts, start working on the project and side by side go back to the theory. If you're not able to work on that project, what is the equation, right? Instead, what is the another approach? That is depth first. Here what people say is master multiple topics before starting a project. So what my advice is, go for breadth first, because in depth first you will learn everything at one place. For example, Python or Microsoft Power BI, you will learn take 1 month, 2 month, 3 months. Again, once you start working on project, you might you know are unable to recall the concepts which you already studied while doing this Power BI or Python. So rather than that, study some of the concepts and start getting hands-on on the projects, and then go back to theory and then go back to the project. So for this, the best is learn it and then use it, and then again learn it, then again use it, learn it, use it. So this is how you will work, and this is the best way to learn. All right. So now if I talk about the second skill, that is analytical skills. In this I already talked, it is math skills, then problem solving, research. In this you have to spend 1 to 2 weeks. It's not like first you are working or studying one technology. Once that is done, then you are working on math skills. It can go side by side as well. This is 1 to 2 weeks that it is required, maybe with 1 or 2 hours a day, or instantly working on weekend, like for 7 to 8 hours a drought. So you can study just for a weekend as well. You just need to brush up your 11th 12th maths, mean, median, modes, standard deviation, distributions, central limit theorem, confidence intervals. These are the basic concepts, and these are sufficient to start with. All right. Then if I talk soft skills, one of the most important soft skill is communication. If you are able to communicate what is there inside you to your team member, your job is done. It is really, really important. Whatever you are doing with your framework or model, you have to communicate that to the business person. So it is very important for you to understand their language, as well as you are able to communicate whatever is there inside you. So communication can't be learned overnight, right? So you have to plan things, plan how you can improve on your communication. How you can do that? Plan to read something. I'm not asking you to read novels, right? It's okay if you read novels, it's okay if you don't. So what my expectation from you is, read as much as possible, and that too related to data analytics, because in that process you are able to work on your communication as well as on your data analytics knowledge, right? For that you can read some ebooks or books, case studies on various companies, articles related to data science analytics. For this there are various websites to read the articles. What my advice to you is, take 15 to 30 minutes from your daily routine to just read about data analytics or read anything, right? That will build your confidence. It is really important for you to read something because we are always busy in our life. Maybe we wake up around 9, then we eat our breakfast, then go for office, come back from office, we eat dinner, and then we study something or sleep directly, right? We feel we are very busy, but we have to take out time. 15 to 30 minutes is nothing. Even in office, once you are free from your work or you want to take some gap, you can read online, right? You can take 15 minutes and read some articles. That will really help. All right. So coming to the domain sales, for this, as I told you, you need to understand what is domain and how you can ace that. First is stick to one domain you're comfortable with. If you're an experienced guy, for example, you are from FMCG background, so stick with that because you have an expertise or maybe you have some knowledge of FMCG, how it operates, how the people are expecting things from you, or what is the speed of things going on in FMCG, right? Vis-a-vis, if you go to banking, for example, 2 years you work in FMCG, then you go to banking, you work there for 1 year, right? And then after banking you go to, let's say, insurance, and then there you work for 1 year, right? And after that, once you are applying for new job, then there is no consistency. So it might be helpful for you because you have various domain expertise, but if you have one domain expertise, that will really help you to beat other job prospects, right? So for example, if you are very good in FMCG, stay with that for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Once you are expert in that, you can really enjoy your space, right? So stick with one domain. It can be FMCG, retail, banking, wherever you are, right? So build the expertise. For freshers, so you don't have any expertise in domain, no domain knowledge you have, right? So how to do that? Start studying about various domains to understand where your interest lies. For example, you start studying about FMCG, then you start reading about retail, then banking, real estate, edtech. Then after some time you might want to study more about banking, let's say, or maybe retail. Then you will understand that yes, my interest lies in banking, my interest lies in real estate. Then work out on that. What kind of analytics is happening in those domains, and how you can, give your input so that those kind of industries can, progress, those kind of companies you can target. So it is really important for you to study various domains and then drill down to one particular domain where you can go through or you are comfortable in. For example, if you like finance, then banking is a brilliant option for you. Anyway, for analytics, banking is one of the best domain because the amount of data, quantum of data is really huge, and data analysts are really required in banking sector. So if you like finance, go for banking domain. If you don't like finance, then you can just read about FMCG, retail. I think FMCG space is really interesting and it is booming like anything right now. So you don't have to take out time separately for this. You can listen to podcasts or read articles in your free time. So it's not like you're studying for 3 hours on SQL, Power BI, and then you are reading something for 30 minutes, and then you're taking out again some more time for domain skill. That is not required. So once you are doing all other processes, your domain skills reading is already done, right? So this is my suggestion. It's up to you if you want to take out more time for this, but then you have to eloquate yourself. All right, so these are some of the resources for each and every tool that I was talking about. If you want to start from scratch, you can use these kind of resources. You can pause the video and see which all resources I have mentioned for each and every tool. For example, in SQL, you can start with w3schools.com. Few years back when I started my journey, so I started with W3 schools. So I know it is very easy to start with. You will not find challenging, right? So you can start with W3 schools, then you can go for Geeks for more in advanced concepts. Rank is really good. If you want to challenge yourself, you can go and just try to solve the questions, so that will really help you to understand. Right, in Excel you can watch my Excel videos which I have already published. You can go for Excel tutorial which is there on YouTube. There is one course that will provide you 8 to 10 hours complete Excel tutorial. You can go for that as well. In Microsoft Power BI, go for some of the videos which I have already published. Then you can learn from official Microsoft website. They have really beautiful concepts, because even myself, whenever I'm stuck with something, I go for Microsoft official website. Right, then in Python you can go for W3 schools, or there is a Python tutorial on YouTube from Apna College. I found it really nice for beginners. It is 1.5 to 2 hours tutorial. You can start with that, and then once you understand what is Python, and then you can go ahead with some other tutorials. All right, so these are some of the resources. Right, now I'll talk about the salaries. So there are three levels for data analyst. First is entry level. If you just graduated from your college and you're looking for data analyst profiles, so you can get anywhere between 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs, right? And if you have an experience of 2 years or 3 years, you can get an average salary of 6.35, and it can go till 10 lakhs. If you are an experienced data analyst with experience of, let's say, 5 years or 7 years, it can go up to 20 lakhs, and average salary is roughly around 8.5 lakhs. Up to this, there is no as such domain expertise that you are having. For example, to get 20 lakhs, you need domain experience, right? But after that, if you have an expertise of domain, plus you have knowledge of Python, plus you are working on machine learning concepts, you have some idea of NLP, and you are driving towards that, then this salary can become 30 lakhs or 40 lakhs as well. So there is no upper cap. But in general, if you are a data analyst, you will be surrounded between 10 to 20 lakhs. The largest pool would be somewhere between 10 to 20 lakhs. Alright guys, so this was it about the data analytics journey, how to learn that using the meta learning concept. It is very important for you to learn faster, because everyone is working on their skill sets, right? And there is a huge competition. You have to work, or maybe work on projects itself. You don't have to waste your time just learning the skills. Learn the skills, but in the limited time, and then implement those skills maximum on the projects, or maybe get some internships and work on real time projects, right? So those are the important things. I hope this video was really helpful. If you feel these kind of videos are important for you, then please subscribe to this channel if not already, and like this video and share with all your friends, so that they can also understand the roadmap. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching this video.